What is up? Shane Club NFL. I need to just, my beard. Teddy, Izzy, mostly Teddy. Trey has the potential to be better than Joe. 4 Super Bowls, 4 MVPs, better than Brady. And Mahomes hasn't even reached his potential yet. But Trey apparently is going to be the GOAT. Get the out of here. Teddy, stop smoking that shit. Stop taking the happy pills. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Potential. He's got the arm. He's got the finesse. He's got the this. He's got the that. Scott and the burner account are in the building. Now, you're not a Trey bot. You're not a Jimmy G stan. You're just being you. And people have complained that I get homers on here. And 49er Izzy, oh dear, you're not following me anymore. Because I don't think Trey is going to be the greatest QB of all time. Carly, siding with Teddy. The fuck? Scott, your burner account is in the building. Look at them. Look, they're like 2 bookends. Holy shit.
Double vision, Nick.
Where is your mum? Your mum should be the star of the show. Can I just say that? Where is your mum?
She's at home in Oklahoma.
Because you obviously remember your famous comment.
I did.
Because of what you said. And what was that?
Something about cougars and,
Yeah, exactly. And your mum came in the chat and actually put that to rest. So, okay. So, you are both neutral. Talk to me about, and I'm only going on what Teddy has said. I've invited him on. I've invited Izzy on. She's blocked me. Oh dear, fucking hell, I'm so disappointed. Trey Lance's potential, because he's got an arm and because he's got this and that and the other, will be better than Joe Montana. Both of you, tell me what you think.
That's a pretty bold statement to say that. I mean, to say a guy who hasn't played, has he played a full game in the NFL? Did he play a full game against Houston, or did he come in like halfway through the game? I can't remember, but I mean, to say that some guy who has maybe played 1 or 1.5 NFL games is going to be in the conversation for greatest of all time it's a pretty bold thing to say. It's highly unlikely. I would say that. Here's what I would say. I would say that just come out and say he's going to be if you want to make a bold. Because you can say, oh, well, he could be the best of all time. And then when he isn't very good or is just okay, then you say, well, I just said he had the potential. I never said he would be. And then if he is one of the greatest of all time somehow, then it's, then you can sit there and brag and say that you called it, you told everybody, and nobody wanted to believe you or listen. So you kind of get to play both sides of the fence there.
To me, that's the thing, right? How many of the Bills fans were saying that Josh Allen was going to be the greatest? How many fans of KC were saying that Mahomes was going to be the greatest? Now, I've seen comparisons that he's like Josh Allen and he's like Patrick Mahomes, and I can't see it. I honestly, for the life of me, can't see it. So, your KC fans, you tell me if there is a thingy. Do you see him being the same as Mahomes? Because he's been known as Allen and Mahomes Part 2.
I mean, I would bet against it. When you look at what Patrick Mahomes has done, I mean, he's got.
Well, okay, so why
for the first 50 games or however many total games he's played, he's first in touchdown passes, first in yards, first in win. I mean, to say that he's going to come out and be as good or better than those guys, it's highly unlikely. I haven't seen very much of him to suggest that that's likely. Is it possible? I mean, anything's possible, but
it's fun to have hope.
Right.
I mean, it's a reach, right? For bearing in mind, we've seen what Mahomes can do. We've seen what various kids. I mean, Zach Wilson loves MILFs. Fair play to him, right?
That's my guy there.
Exactly. I won't expand on it further, but we all are like, what a motherfucker, right? So, Trey had half a good game against the Texans because the first half, and I've said it on Twitter and people are still coming at me. In fact, let me have a look because I've got to just got a look. Bunch of nonsense. So Trey Lance wasn't great against the Texans. He improved in the second half. He's played, 2.5 games. Mahomes has had a whole season, 2 seasons. Yes, he didn't win the Super Bowl, didn't go back to back. And he probably took some heat for that, right? I don't know. Did he take for that? He's lost Tyreek Hill now. Trey Lance has not proved anything yet. But apparently, according to Teddy Weddy, Teddy, I know you're watching, Teddy. I know you're watching. You're probably the only one person that is watching. But he will potentially be better than Joe Montana. So let's just Joe Montana. 4 Super Bowl rings, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, never threw a pick in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. I don't know.
It's going to be tough to beat.
You know?
Right.
And I'm not dissing on Ted. I'm not, because we should put the boxing gloves. He probably beat me in a boxing match because I'm as fat as fuck and I'm unhealthy. And he's probably a lot smaller than me. But I've just got to throw a haymaker and I'd probably beat him. Who knows? But it's ridiculous. Who would you... Right. Okay. So Mahomes and Trey. Both no one knows anything about. Who would you rather have? Forget what we know now, and I know you're not going to be homers. Trey versus Mahomes and Allen, all in the same draft, from the same class, from the same, whatever schools they came from. Who are you picking?
Knowing what we know now?
For real? Yeah. No. From back then, if they were all in the same draft.
I probably would have taken Patrick Mahomes because he played in a bigger school and had bigger numbers and played the position longer, especially than Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance only played, 2 years in college, a year and a half, something like that, quarterback starter. So, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had games at Texas Tech where he had 600 yards and 7 touchdown games.
800-yard game, I think, great.
Right, and that's in the Big 12. That's not – and Josh Allen went to Wyoming, so I get that guys can play at smaller schools and come up and have success. But A guy who's more accomplished at a bigger school and a bigger conference. That's who I would. That's who I would think.
Okay,
Nick, you're probably in agreement with that, right?
Yeah, I think also the fact that Mahomes' father was in professional sports. If you're interested, or any of the viewers are interested, there's a letter that Patrick Mahomes posted to the Players Tribune, like before he got drafted, basically talking about the mistakes that he's made and how he'll try harder than everybody. It's a really good read. I think that also just his professionalism really stands out. I'm not saying that Trey Lance and Josh Allen weren't professional, but that pedigree of coming from a professional sports family, kind of having that coaching, I think also adds to how you think he's going to present himself and come to work every day.
Got a question here, or maybe a comment from Tor Van Linden. Need to consider this is Trey's first season. No, it isn't, because he played last year. It doesn't matter. It was 2.5 games, but whatever. Just like Jalen Hurts, his first season, because I have to do the air quotes, right? Really was last year for us. So got to give Trey next year too to fully know. At least logic tells me. And that's a fair comment, right? And I don't want to turn this into Joe versus Jimmy G, I want to turn it into Joe versus Trey, because we all know what my old mate Teddy said. And a bit like the artwork that goes out every day, whatever day it is, until Jimmy G gets traded.
I've seen that,
girl. I'm reminding that motherfucker now of his bullshit. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry, Junior. I'm going to remind him of his absolute takes of Trey Lance. I can't. I can't. I want to. I want to believe, right? Because I'm a Niners fan. If Mullins, Bethard, Jimmy G were the answer, then I'd agree totally. But I'm worried, and I can't blame the line. We've got a stellar offense, right? And a massive, great defense. If we don't make it, who are we going to blame? Who? Tell me, who are we going to blame? Can't blame Kyle, because he's put everything in place. So, scheme, defense. I mean, we all know that our defense gassed it in the fourth quarter against you boys. Wasn't Jimmy? Jimmy was a part of it, but our defense couldn't stop you. Probably because you were holding and doing WWE moves, right? Look at you. You know that.
You could rewind the tape and see plenty of holes.
Yeah,
on big runs.
Trust me, I've rewinded plenty of the tape.
I thought we were past this.
Closer, getting hold like Jimmy Snooker and the Million Man. But let's not get derailed.
31-20, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance has got some big shoes to fill, because the Niners have been, in the last 3 years, they've been to the Super Bowl and 2 NFC championships.
More that people go back to Steve Young, Alex Smith, Joe Montana, that he's got to do better than them. I mean, yeah, QB wins. Jimmy won.
That's such a weird. That QB wins thing is such a weird deal, because it takes a whole team to win a game, but at the same time, if you don't have a good QB, you're not winning very many games. So I don't. It's so hard to use the wins thing. I mean, it's important. Look, Jimmy won games and went to the Super Bowl and was a couple plays away from a second Super Bowl. So and obviously other players come and go, but I mean, if you take Jimmy out and you put Trey in, and they go 6-10 this year, and he has a bunch of interceptions or just looks average, who else are you going to blame other than Trey, right? I mean,
Well, that's the thing, see, because everyone says, Kyle is this mastermind, and look what he did with Matt Ryan. Look what he's done with this. Look what he's done with that. But there's no hard and fast rules, right? There's nothing.
right.
It's a fair point. Stellar offense, awesome D. How big is your window for success? How many years are you in there in win now mode? And is that starting this season? To be honest, I honestly think it's this year. If Trey doesn't take us to the Super Bowl and wins it, people are going to see that as a failure. Me, I won't, because I've said we'll probably win 8 or 9 games and be happy with it, right? So I don't know. What would you see as a realistic win ratio for the Niners this year? Because you're outsiders, and whilst Kelsey is the best tight end, yeah, right.
I'm glad you finally acknowledged that.
No, never.
We've got it on tape.
Ever.
Mark the tape.
I never
18 minutes, 50 seconds on
I didn't
July
do
16th.
that, but you never saw that, right?
Right.
Because I was being under the radar. What's your honest expectations?
How many games did they win last year? 10, 11?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to win at least that. I mean, if you're moving on from a guy that's won 10 or 11 games regular, I mean, Jimmy got hurt, so he hasn't won 10 or 11 games, but I expect them to be in that 10 win. I mean, -1 or 2, 9 to 11. I think anything less than that would be a disappointment.
You actually think they will be?
I think Trey Lance is going to come in and be okay, and I think with all the reasons the gentleman or whoever was mentioned in the comments there about the offense and the running game and the defense, yeah, I mean, I think that's realistic. 9, 10, 11.
It's really bizarre, right? Because I've just read Twitter, right?
I mean, I don't expect Trey to come in and be like an MVP candidate in his first year. That's just not very realistic for any quarterback to expect that. I don't expect him. And to be honest with you, I didn't necessarily.
If you're a Niners fan, because potentially Teddy, who won't come on the show for some reason, he has the potential to be better than Joe. Greatest QB ever for the Niners. Greatest ever, right? Greatest ever.
Right. And to be honest, I didn't expect Patrick Mahomes to be as good as he was his first year as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, but
I didn't expect 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, okay.
I was expect we were going from Alex Smith to Patrick, and I thought he'd come in. He's had a chance a year to sit. He's got the arm, can make all the throws. He had some big, huge games in college, a lot of crazy stats. But I expected him to come in and be an above-average quarterback, but I did not expect him to do what he did. So, I mean, I don't expect Trey Lance to do that. I don't expect any quarterback to do that their first year.
Well, there you go, you see. But apparently he's got the potential to be better.
Well, again, he hasn't said that he expects him to do that. He says he has the potential to.
No.
And that's just riding the fence so you can jump off on either side no matter how it goes.
No, but you see, Teddy won't, because Teddy loves a bit of flip-flopping, because he loved Jimmy G.
Right. I mean, Nick, what
downhill, and then he's Jimmy G, fucking rubbish, blah blah blah. Garbage a throw, whatever. I just can't wait to see Ted and Teddy. I know you're watching. I know.
Hi, Ted. No hard feelings. There's no hard feelings here, Ted.
Ted, Ted. Trey Lance. Potential to be better than the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to laugh you out
just
of town.
come out and say he's
I,
going
honestly,
to be
I
better.
don't want to laugh you out of town, Teddy. Seriously, I can't. But that is the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard. Mahomes could do it. Mahomes can do it, right? He can be better. He can be better than Joe.
He's lost a Super Bowl, which Joe Montana never did. So,
But Trey, come on now.
yeah, I mean, what do you think, Nick? I mean, what do you expect?
You know what? I think there's some low-hanging fruit that some is trying to. I don't know with Ted. I really don't get it. He won't come on the show. I've asked him to come on. I picked you specifically because apparently the last time I did a show, there were people that thought Mac Jones is better than Trey, and
would that be Carl?
So, yeah, funnily enough.
And was Carl wearing a Patriots basketball jersey?
I've asked Ronnie Niners. I asked. Funnily enough, I asked the super guru Ted to come on. I've asked loads of Niners people to come on, and they won't come on. So I'm just sat here just to be an arse, basically.
Yeah,
I've got
you
you
got to
two
make the
look
playoffs.
like a checkerboard because it's like a mirror thing. You know the old Spider-Man meme? That's you and your brother. There you go. Right? So
don't insult my brother like that, man.
oh, hang on. We got another comment. Hang on. So the comment is he's only ever going to be better than Joe if he brings multiple Super Bowls wins to San Fran. Actually, San Francisco. Can't ever call it San Fran, please. So I guess you're never a fan, but that doesn't matter. It's not a question that can be answered right now, really. Time will tell, and it'll be interesting. How many seasons, if Mahomes didn't work out the first year or the second year, how many seasons would you give him to be what he needs to be?
Well, that's the question, right? I mean, so the days of giving a quarterback 3 years to develop are over, and you've already burned the first year of his rookie contract, right? So you've limited that window even more. I know that being a first-round pick, he gets that fifth-year option, but are they going to give him as much time as the Bills gave Josh Allen to develop? Even because Josh Allen was not very good for the first year or two. Now he's gotten better every year, but I don't think anybody really saw Josh Allen developing into what we saw, in that Chiefs-Bills, playoff game last season. So giving up all that draft capital and burning his first year, he's got to come in and he's got to perform. I think that the floor has to be to make the playoffs, right? Because he's got a great defense, so there's no excuses there. And if you guys miss the playoffs this year, then there's going to be a lot of pressure. And I would say that he's got 1 year after that to really prove that he can perform. But you're coming from a very high level of achievement. I mean, making the championship game, that's not something like I had to wait from the time I was 10 until the time I was almost 40 to get back, right? So that's not something to sniff at. And so if you can't replicate at least some of that success in your first 2 years, I think that you're going to be seen as a bust. And you may not have that time to develop, even if you have the potential. Just you got to be good right away.
I agree with you, burner account, but I honestly don't think Trey will be and Teddy, if you're watching, Teddy, come in. let me get really personal, Teddy. I don't think Trey will be a bust. In fact, if I take my glasses off, I can't bloody see. Teddy, I don't think Trey will be a bust. I don't think he will. But I don't think he'll be as great as you think he will. MVP, potential to be better than Joe, potential to be better than Steve. I mean, that's crazy. That's BS. Right? So,
Right.
and Tor Van Needen, he's an Eagles fan. So he's got Jalen Hurts. Don't anyone laugh. Shh, shh, quiet.
Jalen Hurts is an interesting player to me. He looked pretty good, and the Eagles went to the playoffs last year, but he also makes some of the worst plays I see any quarterback make. And like in that playoff game against the Buccaneers last year, he just made 2 or 3 of the worst passes that ended up as picks that I've seen that I can remember. It was just,
oh shit!
Especially for the moment.
Sorry, she.
Oh, she. Apologize.
Fuck. Sorry.
You don't know nowadays. It's hard to tell. But anyway, so it's one of those things to where, like, I mean, I think Trey Lance it's going to depend if he shows anything at all. Like, if he comes out and is bad for a solid year, they'll give him a second year. But if he's bad in a second year, you're just done in the NFL. Like, teams aren't going to let you be bad for 3 or 4 or 5 years and try to hang on and give you another chance. So there's an interesting guy. I know you like one of my favorite nicknames ever. Your guy, the Chokatron 5000. Kirk Cousins. He was pretty good, but he wasn't.
Well, no, to be fair, he's the Chokatron 5000 Mark II because Tony Romo was the
okay. That's
and
right.
that motherfucker. Sorry, I forgot.
She hears worse from Uncle Scott.
Was the original Chokatron.
Right. But, I mean, look at that guy. He was a fairly solid quarterback, and he was there for a few years, and they got rid of him, and now he's in Minnesota. So you see guys that are average or just slightly above average bounce around and stay in the league for a while because teams keep clinging on to that hope that they'll finally break through and make it. But, yeah, if he comes out and is bad, he's going to get a second season. If he's bad a second season, it's over. But if you get 2, 3, 4 seasons in and you haven't made a championship game or made a Super Bowl, do you keep him? Do you hang on to him? I mean, I don't know.
What would just read this comment quickly? Jalen has had one season. His mechanics look exponentially improved for this season. Most Philly sports fans are totally invested in Jalen. So,
yeah, again, he showed flashes.
Go back to your boy Mahomes. If that statement after his first season was put up, what would you say would that be fair if you were a fan of this team?
I showed flashes of being really good, but also showed some poor decision. I think Jalen Hurts. I think he's kind of a similar guy to Trey Lance too. Like, he depends on his scrambling a lot. He's going to be like one of these mobile, on the move, out of the pocket guys that can run and make throws. Jalen's got to get better this year. He's got to show improvement again. I don't think he showed enough last year to solidify himself as the starter for like 10 years. I mean, he wasn't that good, but he wasn't bad either. So, looks like, did we lose you, Nick?
Well, smack. We got the whole show to ourselves. So.
We're behind the controls of the Shank Club.
Chiefs Kingdom taking over the Shank
Chiefs
Club.
Kingdom taking over. We'll give Nick a second here to see if he comes back. If not, we might have to jump out and see if he can jump back on.
I mean, this to me sounds
I'm
exactly
here. Can you not hear me? Hello? Right. I sent you a direct message, you because I need to step away for 5 minutes because stuff I need to do.
But yeah, we were just saying like Jalen Hurts, he's kind of a guy like Trey Lance that's going to run and be mobile and the kind of that new deal quarterback. I don't think Jalen showed enough last year that he's entrenched himself as the starter for the next 10 years. But he also showed enough to get a second year. He has to get better. If Trey Lance comes out and plays like Jalen Hurts did his first year, he'll buy himself a second year, but he'll be in the same boat. He'll have to get better to get, a third, fourth, fifth year of second contract.
This is an interesting comment, and I really need to take 5 minutes out, so you're going to need to fill in for me. I think something Jalen and Patrick share are their leadership skills and the respect they command in the huddle. And again, before you answer, Ted, Izzy, all those other fuckers that I've invited, you ain't.
I don't think they're going to come on.
You ain't coming. So,
Water's fine. Jump on in.
You.
Come on. Here's the thing,
Ted. I've sent you an invite. I'll send you another invite. I'm not coming on Spaces with you, Ted, because you'll get your little Ted box, and it'll be Jimmy G. This isn't about Jimmy G. This is about Trey and going forward. Nothing to do with Jimmy. And every tweet, oh yeah, but Trey can do this, and Jimmy doesn't. And Ted, sent you the email, right?
Yeah.
Come
on. We can have civil disagreement and have some discourse and still get along.
Fine. I'll get the boxing gloves on and I'll knock your arse out. It's fine. Ted, come on, Ted.
That's how this show started.
The brothers Grimm need to BS for like 5 minutes because I need a bit of a timeout. So, brothers Grimm, go for it.
All right, we're in control of the Shant Club. 49ers suck.
Bryce knows why I put you in control. I don't know. Why have I put you in control?
This begins my 10-part dissertation on why Travis Kelce is better than George.
Yeah, trust me. If I come back and you've gone 101 Travis Kelce, I'm going to just delete the video. But I need to go do shit. So,
right.
Talk to me. Hang on. I think I've got another comment. Here we go. There you go. Answer that.
I think something Jalen and Patrick share are their leadership skills and the respect they command. Yeah, that is a big thing too. It's going to be how Trey Lance can come in and lead the team. Jimmy was a popular guy. He led the team to some pretty big games, won some big games, won a lot of games. Something that Jalen Hurts too. When he was at Alabama, he got injured and they brought Tua in, and Tua took over, and Jalen didn't throw a fit about it. He supported Tua. He was cheerleading him on. Went on to the national championship. He didn't whine and cry about it. He was, he said, "Hey, this is good for the team right now, and the team's winning." He took that to Oklahoma when he transferred there. Got to see a lot of him. Obviously, we're in a Big 12 country here in Missouri. Played fantastic for Oklahoma. He was a leader there. Patrick Mahomes. You hear all these people. The thing too about being a leader though is you got to be able to you got to be good, right? You can't be a leader and play like crap. You just can't do it. So yeah, I like Jalen Hurts is a really interesting player to me. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think he'd be as good as he was his first year. That said, he kind of surprised me a little bit. Now, but again, he definitely needs to improve. I don't know what you think about.
It's ultimately all the intangibles are great, but it's the wins and the losses. And I think the Eagles have gone in on, in that arms race that's going on right now, getting some talent to surround him, and he's got to put up, right? One of the things that Trey doesn't have going for him that Jalen Hurts did is that the Jimmy G was successful, as Scott already said. And so you're taking over for someone that is, popular and is taking the team deep into the playoffs. And, so now you're the guy. And I remember, Patrick Mahomes taking over. I mean, Scott, to me, this is just like 5 years ago or whatever, all over again as a Chiefs fan, because we were having these exact same discussions. I'll be honest, I was a big Alex Smith supporter, and I was upset when we traded him. I was having the same discussion here where everybody was like, Mahomes is the future in Kansas City, and everybody's excited. We hadn't drafted a quarterback in the first round in decades. And I was like, well, yeah, but you already know Alex Smith is good. He's a top-rated passer in the NFL the year before we traded him. And just playing the percentages on these draft picks, the odds were not in our favor. Now, I mean, everyone, somebody wins the lottery, right? And the Chiefs fans won the lottery with Patrick Mahomes, and he has performed great. But that doesn't mean that that's going to happen with everybody. It doesn't mean that just because you get somebody and you sit them behind a tenured guy for a year that they're just going to come out and set the NFL on fire. So I think it's a good model, but sitting there and thinking that, well, just because you do that, now you're going to crank out guys at that talent level over and over and over again. I mean, it's just, to me, it's a small percentage chance. It's that inside street of football trying to get that guy that way.
Yeah, it's so and if if you're Ted or any of them are watching, come on in. I think Nick's misunderstood a lot. I think people think that he, that's how this show started. Part of it was, or at least me coming on the show with him, and our relationship was kind of going back and forth and sparring over who was better, George Kittle or Travis Kelce. And he was like, well, come on my show and talk about it. And we've been kind of doing this thing ever since. So it's going to be interesting to see this year with the 49ers and what they're able to do. Trey Lance. We got Nick back.
I'm still getting shit in DMs. Still getting shit on my timeline. Motherfuckers won't come on. Right? So, do you think I was about Debo this year? The consensus is that Ayuk will be better. So, I honestly don't know. Ayuk or Debo? Because Debo obviously is still pissed off and he wants being paid, and you can get that. But unfortunately, he's not going to get paid as a running back, a wing back, yada, yada, yada. He's going to be a wide receiver. Probably number one. Who do you think has the better season? Ayuk or Debo? What do you reckon, Scott? And Scott, I love the way your brother sits down. You're like, I am a robot. It's quite cool, actually.
I think.
You see, your brother
passed the Turing test.
I mean, I think Debo has the better season. He's the better player. He's more versatile. He makes bigger plays. This is gonna piss a lot of 49ers faithful off, but I don't think Brandon Ayuk is some transcendent, top-notch, top-shelf wide receiver. He's okay. He's all right. He's not that good. Deebo Samuel's far better player. I
think you've got to take into account now, and Jimmy G's not the quarterback. So let me just hang on. Oh, Jimmy G isn't the quarterback anymore. So let's dispel that bullshit. Trey Lance's time. And do you like I know you like those little birds that are flying around behind me, right?
No, yeah.
Paper, but fuck it. I can't help it. They're different receivers, right? I think Debo is still a mid-range slant guy where Ayuk might go over the top with his speed. For me, I still think Ayuk is going to have a good season, but he's not. And you see, it's so funny, right? All these stats, he's going to do this. Projected stats, 1,300 yards, this, that. Where do people get this shit from?
I don't know. People like to predict things, right? I mean, that's why the lottery is so popular and all this other stuff.
I just need to check my phone to see if anyone actually wants to come on or they're just going to.
It's a long off season, Nick. That's where most of the stuff comes from. I mean,
no Border Sports apparently has sent me a message. Yeah, whatever. Carly, I like Carly. He's the mailman, and he's supported me for a long time. But for some reason, he's now a Trey bot and a Teddy bot. Carly, it's just mad, honestly mad. All these people saying that Trey is going to has the potential to be better than Joe and Steve. If my granny had balls, she'd be my fucking granddad.
Right.
Yeah. Right?
That's where that saying goes. I mean, I'm just waiting for someone to come out and say he's going to be.
Yeah,
come out and say it.
Really?
You know? I mean, that's a bold take. I mean, the Chiefs' backup quarterback. Oh, if he could come in and be better than Pat. I mean, anybody could do anything hypothetically, but just come out and say it. Come out and say that he's going to be.
Or Van Linden, that she. I don't want to get up. I don't want to upset anyone. Good. I've drafted Ayuk on a few of my fantasy teams. He could be good.
Yeah, depending on where you drafted him. Yeah,
he could be good. And a lot of people have said that Lance is going to be great in fantasy. Now, I don't do fantasy. I've never done it. I think it's a load of old bollocks.
His running ability makes him
right. You're into the fantasy thing, right?
Yep.
To me, I think it's a fucking waste of time.
It's not a waste of time. It's a waste of time and money, Nick. Okay.
Well,
right.
Either or, right? Who would you rather take as QB? Would you take Lance and put your homerism away? Would you take Mahomes or would you take Josh Allen? In fantasy, forget everything else, just fantasy.
That's tough. I mean, I definitely wouldn't pick Trey Lance over either of those guys because they're accomplished. They've already done it. So they can do it. The thing about fantasy is rushing yards are so valuable for a quarterback and rushing touchdowns because in a lot of formats you only get 4 points for a passing touchdown. You get 6 for a rushing. So rushing yards and touchdowns, they just add on. And so, I mean, Mahomes and Allen are right there.
Very quickly, I need to just, stop you. In TikTok style, I'm not going to be in suspenders or underwear or anything. Tor, bless her heart, she is a fan that I've been talking to. We're going to have her on the show when we start again. She's an Eagles fan that she bleeds green, right? So
we don't have any Eagles fans on the show, do we?
I didn't realise that was the Tor. So Tor,
looking forward to it.
We love you. We do.
Yeah.
I know Scott, and I know that way.
Mahomie to go.
That way. Whatever way.
You should.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Scott's burner account.
Hey, I got a Glomar that I can neither confirm nor deny that that's my actual account.
You are Scott's burner account. Piss off. Do you know the thing I love, right? And I've got to be serious, and it is so funny that we do the regular Shank play, with everyone, with all the boys in and girls
Yeah.
and whatever. And I diss Mahomes or the Chiefs or something. And all of a sudden, even though Scott's hands are above the keyboard,
I put them on the table.
yeah, there you go. All of a sudden, it's. But it's good. Seriously, it's good to meet you because
Yeah, likewise.
you're the man. It's fun.
I love Shan Club. It's the best
And
part of Saturday
you know
morning.
what? Me and Scott have traded punches for a couple of years, probably.
Right. All of last season, yeah. 2
We've
seasons now, really.
yeah, exactly, and we've probably agreed
fun.
to disagree over Kittle. And
Right.
I'm going to say now, Kittle, if he stays fit, he's better than Kelsey. But he won't be, so he won't be, right? Would you say it's fair? If Kittle stayed healthy for the whole season, forget stats, he would be better than Kelsey for 1 year.
I don't know about that, Nick. You're talking right.
1 year. 1 year, I'm talking. 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible, I guess. I mean, but
everyone says Kelsey, and we all know, right? We've crossed swords on Kelsey and we've crossed swords on Kittle.
I mean, that's how it all started.
Well, yeah, I wanted to punch you in the face, you motherfucker. But the thing is,
it's fun now.
Yeah, it was. Of course it was. But it was light-hearted, and it wasn't Trey's going to be better than Lance, potentially. But that's another thing. Sorry, Teddy. Let's push that shit out of the way. If Kittle could stay healthy over the same period, I don't think Kelsey's in the conversation. I honestly don't. Staying fit, forgetting stats and blocks and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
Kelsey never ever attracts the whole defense to bring him down. That's because he's open, right?
Well, they can't catch him. So, I mean, he runs and zigzags
Come on.
in and out of them and runs past them.
Scott, come on now. Don't give me any of your bollocks. Or bollocks.
No, I say one guy's not as good.
So let me ask you a question. What would make Kittle better than Kelsey in your eyes?
I mean, he'd have to become a much better receiver of the football.
Yeah, but he's a great receiver.
He's good. He is good. But
what do you mean?
He's not consistent.
Better route runner. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, and he doesn't have the consistency. Yeah, Kelsey's a fabulous route runner.
Right, because I swear to God, I'm so interested in this because I've seen that PFF or whatever it fucking is has said that, and I didn't at you purposely, but PFF or whatever it is says that Kittle is the number one tight end.
Yeah,
but I don't believe that.
There's lots of different metrics and
of
PFF.
Course, I'm a homer.
You look at some of these things and
do you know what, Scott? Fuck off with Kelsey. It's George. But George can't stay healthy. And to me, that's the biggest thing. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah. The most important ability is availability. And if you can't play, it don't matter how good you are if you're sitting on the bench. So, yeah, he would just have to become a more consistent threat, and with more yards and more catches. It's he's like slightly better than blocking, and Kelsey's better than at receiving, and so you can go back and forth, which is more important.
So
they're both damn good. I mean, really.
Sorry. So hang on a minute. So, what do you grade Kelsey better at? Is it receiving? Is it route? You can only pick one: receiving or route running.
Well, I'd pick receiving. He's led the league the last 6 years in receiving yards total. Better than Devontae Adams, better than DeAndre Hopkins, better than a lot of these other guys.
Julio Jones.
Better than Julio Jones. Julio Jones is getting a little older now the last 2 or 3 years. But, yeah, he's – I mean, you look at him, he's almost – I mean, a lot of people say that it's not fair to call him a tight end because he's more of a wide receiver than a tight end. But
that's interesting because obviously people say George Kittle is a better blocking tight end. And
I would agree with that he is better at blocking, yeah.
But what would you rather have, a better blocking tight end or a receiving tight end that kills the QB if there was that involved?
Yeah, to me, the NFL is an offensive game now, and
it's a passing league.
It's a passing league. Receiving is more important than blocking.
It would be, yeah. I mean, by the way, I am Fat Boy Slim, except I'm Fat Boy Fat.
I saw that shirt.
I
noticed that shirt earlier.
If you want to fucking insult me, because motherfuckers are, that's fine.
I've got some Fat Boy Slim on my playlist. So
there you go. And I've got you with some I'm the fire starter when I do my
Prodigy, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Prodigy. Going way back. Hey Nick, we got like 4 or 5 more minutes here, and then we got a jet. We're gonna
right. So give me your closing thoughts, and then I'll just burn motherfuckers. Talk to me.
Here's my closing thoughts. Don't sit there and say that some guy has the potential to be the best of all time or better than this person or better than that person. Come out and say it. Put your name on it. Don't ride the fence so that you can say it when it doesn't happen. Oh, well, I didn't say he would. I said he could. To me, that just doesn't really take a whole lot of nerve or a whole lot of analysis or knowledge of the game. Just come out and say it. And here's some things I would say to anybody that blocks other people that have disagreements or whatnot on Twitter, on social media. Listen, Nick and I became friends.
I'm blowing up bombs. Fuck them.
Nick and I became friends on here because we were going back.
Well, no, you say that, but actually we're not.
About Kittle and Kelsey.
You, Scott, because
so we can have disagreements and have a good debate, and have some good discourse and still. No, there's no name calling going on. There's nobody calling anybody stupid or anything like that. So, I mean, Nick's shooting my argument all to hell here. But
I don't know which way I'm pointing, but yeah, whatever.
If you got an opinion, come on the show and talk about it. We're all respectful of each other. And it's all in good fun.
They want to hide behind shit, right? So,
I mean, yeah, you could say that if they won't come on and put their name behind it. So,
Scott and your burner account, much respect. And I've never seen your burner account, and it's hilarious. I've seen your burner.
You got any final thoughts on?
Yeah, come on, burner. Let's go.
Having hope as a sports fan is most of the fun, right? Most of it is waiting and hoping for good shit to happen to you. And most of the time, good shit doesn't happen to you. And so I just got to say that's probably, if your expectations are up here for Trey Lance to be better than Joe Montana, I got to say, one of the people I work with, he said, hope is the last thing to die, but it does die. And, that's probably what you're leading yourself into if those are your expectations. But it's still fun to talk about it. I mean, he gave us something to come on and talk about.
Listen,
the beauty of
I've
sport.
got to say, right, before I click off, I've got to say, Teddy and whoever thinks this, if you think Trey Lance is going to be better or has the potential, sorry, because I need to rephrase that because you motherfuckers will jump on that. If you honestly think that Trey Lance has better potential than Joe Montana and Steve Young, because they're both in the same envelope.
Yeah, Steve Young's up there. Yeah,
It's
That's
hot
all
take.
I can say, right? I
Everyone
can't.
runs on hot
Ted,
take.
Ted,
Yeah.
you had the chance. All the others, you had the fucking chance to come on, and you wouldn't do it because you couldn't get your little playboys. You couldn't get. You wanted me to go on Spaces, but you couldn't get your little boys on here. Well, Ted, I'll give you double, right? Ted, I'll start again in 15 minutes. It's not a problem. Ted, you and your thoughts. Scott, burner account. You're the best. I love you. We're going to get into it soon, right? Because
Yep. Just let me know when we start back
I
up.
need the burner account when we're actually trying to get serious to give me some bullshit, right?
Yeah. We might be able to get them on. So
Ted, brother, love you. I'm going to go and try and find someone else to really piss
all
off.
right. Good luck,
Soon.
man.
Later.
Take care. See y'all later.
Take it.